There is a short video moving through the collective right now claiming that the heart is not a pump, and the speed at which it spreads has less to do with whether every detail is correct, and more to do with the reaction it triggers in the body before the mind has time to intervene. People do not share it because they suddenly distrust anatomy textbooks. They share it because something in them has always felt that the explanation they were given was incomplete. When a claim this simple creates discomfort, curiosity, and resistance all at once, it signals a fault line in understanding that was already there. The haret does not approach moments like this to turn them into belief or rejection. It approaches them to slow the momentum and restore proportion, so insight does not collapse under its own speed. It must be stated clearly at the beginning that the heart does move blood. That fact is not under threat, and denying it weakens the conversation rather than strengthening it. Blood circulation is a physical process governed by pressure, elasticity, and motion. But the idea of the heart as a pump has always been a simplification, not a full description. A pump implies linear force repeatedly applied against resistance, like a piston driving fluid through rigid tubing. The human heart does not function that way. It does not shorten and push in a straight line. It twists, coils, and untwists. Its muscle fibers are arranged in a spiral configuration that produces torsion. This is not speculation or metaphor. It is observable anatomy and measurable motion. The twisting action of the heart is not decorative or incidental. It is essential. That torsional movement allows the heart to generate efficient flow while reducing energetic cost. When the heart relaxes, it does not simply stop pushing. It recoils, creating suction that assists filling without additional force. This alone already breaks the simple pump analogy. Pumps do not pull by elastic recoil. Living tissue does. The heart operates as a dynamic structure that stores and releases energy through form, not just contraction. When blood exits the heart, it does not behave like water forced through a hose. It organizes into helical flow patterns that persist through the major vessels. This has been directly observed through imaging and flow studies. Helical flow reduces turbulence, stabilizes pressure gradients, and protects vessel walls from damage. It allows blood to move smoothly through curves and branches without excessive energy loss. This is not mysticism. It is fluid dynamics. Nature uses vortical patterns because they work. Straight line flow through complex geometry is inefficient and destructive. Spiral flow preserves coherence. Rivers curve for the same reason. Atmospheric systems rotate for the same reason. Large-scale structures remain stable through rotation rather than rigidity. The heart follows this same logic not because it is symbolic, but because it is embedded in the same physical reality. Biological systems are not designed to overpower resistance. They are designed to cooperate with it. The pump metaphor captures motion but ignores organization. And organization is the key feature here. Once this is understood, the question changes. The question is no longer whether the heart pushes blood, but how it sets the conditions under which circulation sustains itself. The heart initiates motion, but it does not perform all the work alone. The vessels participate through elasticity and peristaltic motion. The blood itself participates through its properties and behavior under flow. Surrounding tissues participate through pressure dynamics. Circulation is a distributed process. That is the defining difference between a machine and a living system. Machines centralize effort. Living systems distribute it. The heart establishes rhythm, timing, and sequence so the rest of the system can align. Alignment reduces cost. Misalignment increases strain. This is why rhythm matters more than raw strength in biological systems. A strong but poorly timed contraction wastes energy. A well-timed contraction propagates coherence. This is where many viral explanations begin to fracture. Geometry is introduced as a revelation rather than a tool. Vortex is presented as proof rather than process. Ancient insight is invoked without discipline. The haret does not reject geometry or history, but it refuses to compress them into spectacle. Geometry matters not because the heart secretly hides a perfect shape, but because form guides flow. Curvature stabilizes motion. Angle determines efficiency. Shape is instruction, not symbolism. The spiral arrangement of the heart muscle is not an accident and not a mystical imprint. It is an optimization. It allows rotational motion to propagate through tissue in a way that linear compression cannot. This rotational motion couples efficiently with the behavior of fluids in curved channels. Blood responds to rotation by organizing itself. Organization reduces chaos. Reduced chaos lowers energetic demand. This is the logic of the system. When explanations leap from this point into claims about hidden energy generators or secret suppression, clarity is lost. Those leaps are not necessary and they do not strengthen understanding. They satisfy emotion at the expense of precision. Haret exists to hold the middle ground where curiosity can deepen without dissolving into noise. One of the most important reframes here is the idea of rhythm as a governing principle. The heart is a rhythmic organizer. It establishes a stable oscillation that other systems entrain to. This is not poetic language. It is systems behavior. Heart rate variability reflects the adaptability of that rhythm across changing conditions. High variability indicates a system capable of flexible coordination. Low variability indicates rigidity and strain. A pump model does not explain this. An entrainment model does. A tone is a stable oscillation that other processes synchronize with. The heart generates such an oscillation. The vascular system responds. Hormonal signaling responds. Neural feedback responds. This is coordination, not command. The heart does not issue orders. It sets tempo. When tempo is coherent, the system flows. When tempo degrades, compensation increases and fatigue follows. The popularity of the viral claim signals that people are ready to move beyond flattened explanations. But readiness without refinement produces distortion. If the heart is reduced to a pump, meaning collapses. If it is inflated into mystery without grounding, credibility collapses. Precision lives between those extremes. The heart is neither a mechanical piston nor a hidden energy device. It is an intelligent organizer of flow that expresses efficiency through structure, rhythm, and relationship. Haret does not exist to oppose science or sanctify speculation. It exists to expand scale. The misunderstanding was never malicious concealment. It was mistaking a simplified model for a complete one. Simplifications are useful until they become limits. At that point, they must be revised, not defended. When the heart twists instead of pushes, it demonstrates a principle that extends beyond physiology. Sustainable movement arises from organization rather than force. Timing matters more than pressure. Alignment outperforms domination. These are not metaphors. They are observable patterns. But they must be approached with discipline or they degrade into slogans. This moment is not about validating or debunking a video. It is about using the attention it generated as an opening to refine understanding. The heart does not rush. It cycles. It adapts. It maintains rhythm across constant change. Any honest exploration of its nature must do the same. There is a moment that arrives after the initial reframing settles, where the mind naturally wants to move forward rather than sideways. Once the heart is understood as an organizer of flow rather than a brute force pump, a deeper question emerges almost automatically. What exactly is being organized? And what kind of coherence is the heart maintaining that goes beyond simple circulation? This is where careful language becomes essential, because careless words turn insight into spectacle and precision into belief. Haret approaches this layer slowly, not to mystify the heart, but to keep its function intelligible at the scale it actually operates. Every living system depends on coherence to remain viable. Coherence is not an abstract concept here. It refers to the alignment of timing, phase, and response across many interacting parts. In the human body, coherence allows trillions of individual events to behave as a single organism, rather than as competing fragments. The heart plays a central role in maintaining this coherence, not by issuing commands, but by providing a stable rhythmic reference that other systems can synchronize with. This synchronization is measurable. Changes in cardiac rhythm alter neural signaling, hormonal release, vascular tone, and even immune response. None of this requires speculative mechanisms. It requires recognition that rhythm is informational. Information does not always arrive as symbols or signals. Often, it arrives as timing. A system that knows when to act conserves energy and avoids conflict. A system that acts without timing compensates with force and suffers degradation. The heart is fundamentally a timing organ. Its contractions are not just movements, but events placed within a sequence. Each beat occurs in relationship to the previous one and in anticipation of the next. That relational timing allows downstream systems to prepare, respond, and adjust. This is coordination, not control. This is also where many discussions about energy lose their footing. Energy is often imagined as a substance to be generated or consumed. In living systems, energy efficiency is often achieved not by increasing supply but by reducing waste through coordination. When systems fall out of sync, energy demand rises sharply. When systems align, demand drops. The heart contributes to this alignment by stabilizing rhythm across variability. It does not create energy out of nothing. It reduces loss by maintaining coherence. The blood itself reflects this principle. Blood is not an inert fluid. It responds dynamically to shear, pressure, and flow patterns. Under coherent flow conditions, its components distribute evenly and interact efficiently with vessel walls and tissues. Under chaotic flow, friction increases, signaling degrades, and stress accumulates. The heart influences these conditions not by micromanaging each vessel, but by setting the initial rhythm and flow character that propagates throughout the system. This is why small changes in cardiac rhythm can have large systemic effects. The spiral arrangement of cardiac fibers is one expression of this. It allows rotational motion to couple with fluid behavior in a way that linear compression cannot. Rotation creates stability across change. It allows energy to be stored elastically and released smoothly. These properties are not mystical. They are mechanical, but at a level of organization that simple machine analogies fail to capture. Attempts to literalize geometry into secret shapes or hidden devices misunderstand its role. Geometry in living systems is adaptive, not rigid. It emerges through evolutionary refinement, because certain forms perform better under specific constraints. The heart is shaped by the demands placed on it. Its form reflects a solution to the problem of sustaining circulation across a branching, elastic, and variable network. That solution favors spiral motion, because spiral motion distributes stress, preserves momentum, and supports coherence. This brings us back to the idea of coherence as the central theme. Coherence is not static harmony. It is dynamic alignment that allows variability without collapse. The heart must respond to changing demands constantly. Activity increases, rest decreases, stress alters signaling, recovery restores balance. The heart adjusts rhythm and force continuously. The key is that these adjustments occur within a coherent framework, rather than as isolated reactions. When coherence breaks down, compensation escalates. Compensation is costly. Over time, cost becomes pathology. The nervous system interacts closely with this process. Cardiac rhythm feeds back into neural circuits that regulate perception, emotion, and decision-making. This is not metaphorical. Neural firing patterns are influenced by rhythmic input from the cardiovascular system. When rhythm is stable but flexible, neural processing becomes more adaptive. When rhythm is rigid or chaotic, processing narrows. This is one reason emotional regulation and cardiac coherence are linked. The heart participates in shaping the conditions under which the mind operates. This does not mean the heart thinks or decides in the way the brain does. It means that bodily rhythms influence cognitive and emotional states by shaping the timing environment in which neural activity unfolds. Timing precedes interpretation. If timing is unstable, interpretation degrades. This is why practices that stabilize rhythm can have wide effects without targeting specific thoughts or beliefs. They work at the level of coherence rather than content. It is tempting at this point to drift into language about fields or energies without definition. Haret resists that temptation by grounding every claim in observable relationships. A field in this context is simply a pattern of influence that extends beyond a single point. The rhythmic activity of the heart creates such a pattern. It influences tissues and systems that are not in direct mechanical contact through pressure waves, neural feedback, and biochemical signaling. This influence is distributed and relational. Calling it a field does not make it mystical. It makes it accurate. The danger arises when these ideas are framed as hidden truths withheld by authority. That framing distracts from the real issue, which is scale. Simplified models are taught because they are easier to transmit, not because deeper ones are forbidden. At some point, however, simplification becomes limitation. When people sense that limitation, they search for alternatives. Viral narratives fill that gap quickly, but often without precision. Haret exists to provide refinement rather than replacement. The heart is not a generator of unlimited vitality, nor a secret battery charged by thoughts alone. It is a coordinator that minimizes waste through alignment. Thoughts, emotions, posture, breath, and movement all influence cardiac rhythm because they alter timing relationships within the system. This is not moral judgment, it is systems interaction. Certain states promote coherence, others fragment it. The body responds accordingly. Understanding this shifts responsibility without blame. Health becomes less about fighting the body and more about supporting its natural organizing principles. Coherence cannot be forced. It emerges when conditions allow it. The heart reflects this truth continuously. It does not demand perfection. It demands rhythm that can adapt. What emerges from this view is not a new belief, but a new orientation. Instead of asking whether the heart is a pump or something else, the more useful question becomes how coherence is maintained across complexity. The heart is one of the primary instruments through which that maintenance occurs. It does not operate alone, but it plays a central role because rhythm is foundational. The viral conversation opened a door by challenging a flat explanation. The task now is not to replace that explanation with another extreme, but to deepen it until it can hold complexity without collapsing. The heart does not need mythologizing to be remarkable. Its actual function is already sufficient. It coordinates life moment by moment through timing, structure, and relationship. That coordination is quiet, continuous, and easily overlooked until it falters. Haret does not ask you to abandon science or intuition. It asks you to let them meet at the scale where living systems actually operate. The heart is not hiding a secret. It is expressing a principle in plain sight. Coherence sustains life more effectively than force ever could. When that principle is understood, the conversation matures and curiosity no longer needs to rebel to feel alive.